Okay, so I decided I wanted to do another set of pages for my Create This book too. I settled on doing 3 since I did 3 different prompts, if you will, the last time, and that seemed to work out time-wise. But as we all know, Ace can't make decisions! So once again, I turned to a random number generator and put in the page range I was working with, 1 through 199, and got 3 random numbers, with the idea that if I somehow got a page that I'd already done, I'll just generate another number. I ended up with pages 98, 18, and 184. Okay, let's go see what the prompts we are working with are. I decided to start with page 98 and 99. Whatever number I got, since the pages are mostly full spreads as far as I can tell, I did both pages that I opened up to because it was all part of the same prompt. This one is create an inventory of things that you own. It took me a while to come up with what to write for each thing because I knew I wanted to do an illustration on the opposite page that included all the things I mentioned. So my answers ended up being as follows. For something old, I wasn't sure how old counted as old, but I have a pair of Quidditch goggles that I used to wear like every single day in college. Like they were a headband, and I loved them so much. For something new, it's not really an object per se, but I recently cut my hair short for something different, so I decided to count that as new. For something ugly, I actually glanced up while I was trying to decide on what to use and saw this awful, statement belt that I have. And I've had it since I was in high school. It came with a pair of pants that I really liked, but this belt is like a really big statement belt, and it's just so ugly. I have no idea why I've held on to it for this long, but I literally never, ever wear it. It just hangs on the back of my door with the rest of my belts that I also never wear because I don't really like to wear belts in general. Next, for something cute, she's definitely not an object, but my devious little cat Oreo, who appears every once in a while at the end of my videos. She's pretty cute. As for something handmade, I've mentioned before that I used to do a lot of cosplay, and one of the things my family does as a group is go to pirate-themed days at Renaissance festivals. So I have a couple of pirate costumes that I've made, both for myself and my mother and brother. One year I made this pirate flag. It's a full-size flag that sometimes doubles as a cape or a skirt depending on how it's tied, and it has a drawstring at one end. I sewed it completely by hand, whereas I usually use a sewing machine, so this one was super duper handmade. Something gifted is a scarf my mom gave me that is covered in cat-shaped head silhouettes with little pink noses. It's really warm and cozy. I use it at work a lot because I work overnights and the office gets pretty cold in the middle of the night, especially now that we're kind of going towards winter. I had to go with my favorite boots for something broken. I have also had them since high school. They are knee-high boots that stretch around the calves and are pretty much the only boots I've ever been able to wear comfortably, and I love them to pieces, but the zipper broke and I haven't had a chance to get it replaced, which is super depressing. Anyway, right, something thrifted. I have a lot of thrifted things, but this dress I have is one that I wear semi-often. It has a gray and black striped top and a black skirt. So yeah, as you'll notice, most of the things I listed are clothing items. This is because I decided to draw myself either wearing or holding everything on the list. Except my cat. She hates it when I pick her up. Because she's a brat. I did the illustration on a separate piece of regular white computer paper because I planned on coloring it with my Copic markers, and I didn't want it to bleed on the other pages in the book. I used my white Posca pen for highlights, and of course, I had to make the background orange with a contrasting light blue shadow. I painted the background of the prompt side of the page with orange acrylic paint instead of orange Posca because I figured it would be easier to fill in a large area with that rather than the Posca pen. Once everything was done, I added a layer of Mod Podge to seal everything, though I'm not totally sure it was actually necessary, but... also, don't at me for the date up in the corner. I did this page quite a while ago. As if you couldn't tell by the watermelon nail art. I think that was 2 months ago. Right, so next up, pages 184 and 185. This one is about pet peeves. Write down your top 10 worst pet peeves. And honestly, it was really hard. Like really hard to come up with 10. I spent a long time trying to figure out what made me irritated enough to actually call it a pet peeve. And I did eventually come up with 10, and decided to draw myself being irritated by all of them one at a time with a sort of manga panel style breakup for the pages. Again, I did this on computer paper separate from the book and taped it in later. So once I had broken everything up into sections, I sketched a little chibi version of myself with all the irritating things happening. First, we have not having a coupon code when there is an option to add one. Which brings us to the sponsor for this video, Honey. No, I'm just kidding. Ain't nobody gonna sponsor my tiny insignificant YouTube channel. But yeah, I always have to look for codes to try, or hope Honey has one, or, all that. But what if I could save money? And I usually end up wasting like an hour or so of my life, and I don't actually find a working code anyway, which is such a pain. Anyway, next is slow internet. I hate it when the internet drags. It makes me want to flip a desk. Enough said. Third is spelling names wrong, especially if it's written in the signature of an email that someone is responding to. I think that this in particular stems from the fact that the way I spell my name is atypical, and people often spell it wrong even when it's right in front of them. They can't take the extra 2 seconds just to make sure that there's some continuity between my signature and their salutation. Fourth is when online shipping costs more than the actual item that I am buying. I can't stand it when I put something in my cart on some obscure website I've never used before, and then I go to check out and the shipping cost more than doubles the total price. So then, in order to make myself feel better, I look around on the site for more things to buy to bring my total up so that it's more than the shipping. Does anyone else do this? Am I the only crazy one? Yes? Yeah, I'm not surprised. And last on this page is spoilers. Oh, how I hate to be spoiled, especially when it was entirely unnecessary. Okay, so spoilers are pretty much always unnecessary, but I mean like when I'm having a conversation or scrolling through the internet and all of a sudden I see something and go, oh my god, why would you tell me that? I haven't finished that book or watched the last season of that show or seen that movie or played through the end of that video game. Ah! Wow, I guess these really are pet peeves because I'm getting a little worked up over this list, even just doing this voiceover and reviewing all of them. Anyway, on the second page, pet peeve number 6 is when other people say ew or that's disgusting about something that I am eating. I'm eating it. No one is making anyone else eat it, and clearly if I'm eating it, I like it. Please stop. Please. Number 7, whatever. I hate the word whatever. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I don't even know why I hate it. It's just so dismissive and rude, I guess. I don't know. This word just bothers me. Moving on to 8, mouth noises. This. Ugh. Breathing, drinking, wet noises, swallowing, chewing, gasping, lip smacking, just any noises that come from the mouth make me cringe. Especially when they come from my mouth, which is a huge struggle when I record voiceovers because I want to edit out all of the mouth noises, and it takes forever. And if I go back and listen to one of my posted YouTube videos and I hear a breath or a lip smack, I freak out, and yeah, it's intense. Number 9, oh my gosh, we're almost done. This is talking during movies and TV shows, or pausing a TV show or movie to talk. It super breaks my immersion and is really distracting, and you know who you are that does this to me all the time. You. And finally, number 10. I don't even want to say the word. I hate this word so much. Irregardless. Unlike whatever, I know exactly why I hate this word. Because everyone uses this word, but it does not mean what they think it means. And because it's always been used incorrectly, that has become its definition. It's like collective group dumbness bullied the English language into submission, and I hate it. Oh, so much hate. It means the opposite of regardless because of the prefix "ir." But for some reason, it has been used so much as a synonym for regardless that now the dictionary has been rewritten and it means the opposite of what conventionally it should mean. Okay, /rant. Now that we have gotten past my pet peeves, here is the finished page, which, while I was taping back into the book with the double-sided tape, I did a goof and now that page is wrinkled, which is extremely irritating, and oddly fitting since this is supposed to be a page full of things that I hate and irritate me. Okay, I have to get away from that page. My blood pressure is so high after that I feel like I'm gonna pop. For the last prompt, pages 18 to 19, we have create a puzzle. I put this one off to last since I needed to order some supplies, because I plan on making a puzzle. Yeah, being super uncreative and making a ton of work for myself in the process because I am following the directions to the letter. So when I saw this prompt, I decided I wanted to make one of those 8-square sliding puzzles. So I got this set of 3/4-inch brass paper fasteners that came with brads, a small hole punch, and little brass washers. First off, I measured the space that I had to put the puzzle in, and it ended up being a 12-centimeter square. And after a little bit of figuring, this is the template I came up with. I'm cutting the tracks out of a manila envelope because it is a little thicker than regular paper, so I thought it would be a bit more durable than paper without making it too bulky, which was what I was afraid would happen if I had used cardstock. Not sure if mission accomplished or no, but anyway, I cut 4 12 by 1.5 centimeter strips and 4 3-centimeter squares. And the reason I needed these pieces is so I could make the little track for the pieces to slide around on so the puzzle actually works. I also decided that I needed this 3/4-inch circle punch. Okay, time for construction. I'm going to try and explain this as concisely as possible to minimize confusion. I'm really sorry if it doesn't make any sense. Hopefully watching me do this will also help. So I punched out 8 3/4-inch circles with the circle punch and then used the small punch that came with the paper fastening kit to punch a small hole in the center of each circle. Then I made a 12 by 12 centimeter grid out of the manila folder and split it into 9 4-centimeter squares, of which I will only need 8. These are the squares that will make up the actual visible part of the puzzle. I didn't actually cut it apart at this point though, I just drew lines dividing them up so I could see where the boundaries of each square would be. And on the opposite side I attached the image I drew for the puzzle. I just drew an image on a 12 by 12 centimeter piece of white computer paper and then taped it on. Then, using more double-sided tape, I attached a little assembly of fasteners to the bottom of each square, which consisted of one of the paper circles with a hole in it, a brass washer, and then the actual brad to hold it all together. I decided to assemble the puzzle on another piece of 12 by 12 centimeter manila folder and then just tape the whole thing into the book after it was done. For the tracks that go under the squares, I added a 1/4 inch double-sided tape. Sorry for mixing metric and royal measurements. However, I made sure the double-sided tape only went on the very outside edge of the track and in the centers of the squares, so that the brad washers can slide on the inside edges of all the tracks without getting stuck or stopped. I put all 4 squares and 3 of the 4 edges on. Then, after all that was done, I cut the squares apart. Remember that your image should be missing 1 corner because it is only actually made up of 8 squares, so you can still move the pieces around for the puzzle. After they're cut apart, just slide them onto the tracks in order at first so you can be sure that the puzzle can go together the way that it's supposed to be even after you scramble it up. And then add the last piece of the frame to hold everything in place. It's not too bad for having little if no idea what I was doing when I came up with the idea for how to make this puzzle. The tracks are a little bit loose, so sometimes the squares do pop out. I think this could be remedied with a larger circle punch instead of a 3/4 inch, maybe a 1 inch or a 1 1/4 inch. But otherwise, it works pretty much the way I wanted it to. This one that I'm showing you how to put together is Suzette, my eBay budget custom doll. And the other puzzle you see here is Cursiva, my Wish.com budget custom. I made the Cursiva puzzle as a proof of concept, if you will, to make sure that my idea would work, and then I made Suzette for the second page and taped them both into the book with some more double-sided tape before I called this third page of my second round of Create This Book 2 prompts finished. Which one was your favorite? I'm definitely partial to the inventory page. My pet peeves page makes my blood want to boil. And the puzzle one, I think, is the coolest of all 3, but it was really time-consuming and kind of annoying to figure out, and right now I don't really even want to look at it. Also, I mean, in the inventory picture, I have a pirate flag. What's not to like? As always, let me know if there are some pages in particular that you are looking forward to, and I'll see about doing those next. Check out my introduction video to the Create This Book 2 series I've started if you missed it. And until my next video, I will talk to all of you soon. Bye!
나는 어릴 적에 친구들이 내게 물었지 너는 어디서 왔니 우리